What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. The truth shall set you free. We always say that on this program, and especially if that truth makes the elites and the establishment uncomfortable, it is even more important to state. And so let's state it right now. They often call January 6th a deadly insurrection, but they don't say who died. So who actually died inside of the United States Capitol? That person's name is Ashli Babbitt. She's an Air Force veteran. She is a patriotic American. She's somebody that had her grievances with the federal government, and she wished to regress her grievances with the federal government, which is her First Amendment right. Ashli Babbitt was murdered in an execution without warning. She was unarmed inside of the halls of the United States Capitol, and nothing ever happened to the person who murdered her. Nobody ever charged him with anything. This security officer inside of the Capitol who just murdered this patriotic American. Now, you could argue about some of the wisdom of the movements inside of the U.S. Capitol. That day was pure chaos. But Ashli Babbitt was acting non-violently. She was attacking no one. And so it is with, I guess, some type of dark, solemn understanding of this situation that we are proud to report that maybe there'd be a small sliver of justice for Ashli Babbitt's family, as her family has now filed a $30 million lawsuit against the government for her death. I mean, for her killing, for her execution without trial, her execution by the federal government without warning. Air Force veteran Ashli Babbitt's husband, Aaron, has filed a $30 million lawsuit accusing the government of a wrongful death, assault, battery, and various negligent issues. She was shot and killed inside the U.S. Capitol building by then Lieutenant Michael Byrd of the U.S. Capitol Police. The lawsuit claims that she was unarmed and had no unlawful purposes. She has a First Amendment right, just like you do, to have a redress of your grievances, the federal government. The husband of the January 6, 2021 rioter who was shot and killed by an officer filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the government. Air Force veteran of Ashli Babbitt, age 35, was shot and killed inside the U.S. Capitol building by Michael Byrd. She died of injuries in Washington Hospital Center, and the examiner determined her death as a homicide. Her husband, Aaron Babbitt, has filed a $30 million lawsuit against government agencies, should be $30 billion lawsuit, for negligence and issues. Attorneys with Judicial Watch, a conservative legal activist group, filed the suit in California federal court on behalf of Aaron and his estate. So this is, of course, Ashli Babbitt, and this is her husband, and this is a part of the lawsuit. Let's read. Ashli had been living in San Diego, where she and Aaron owned and operated a successful pool business with her husband. Ashli traveled San Diego to Washington, D.C. to attend the Save America rally. The rally featured President Trump and conservative speakers. Ashli loved her country and wanted to show up for President Trump to support America First policies. Ashli did not go to Washington with any group or with any unlawful purposes. You can see that in the clips of Ashli Babbitt from that day.
Million people here today. So despite what the media tells you, boots on ground definitely say something different. There is a sea of nothing but red, white, and blue patriots and Trump. And it was amazing. We could see the president talk. We are now walking down the inaugural path to the Capitol building. 3 million plus people. God bless America, patriots.
So unbelievably sad. The lawsuit says Ashli was unarmed. She was. There's no evidence that she was armed at all. She was holding herself up beside the door. Lieutenant Byrd confessed that he shot Ashli before seeing her hands or assessing her intentions or even identifying her as female. Ashli was unarmed. Her hands were up in the air, empty, and in plain view of Lieutenant Byrd and the officers in the lobby. Ashli posed no threat to safety of anyone. Not one member of Congress was in the lobby, which was guarded. There is Ashli Babbitt in her Air Force uniform. This is how they treat you as a member of the armed services. And here's Ashli Babbitt. Here's a firearm in the holster on her side. So Ashli Babbitt clearly knew how to, how to carry herself, right? She's trained in our military. She served honorably. I've seen no evidence that she had any type of dishonorable discharge or anything like that. She served her country. 3 years ago today, Ashli Babbitt was murdered by her government while unarmed. Her family was never received justice. We won't stop until they do. I agree. Ashli Babbitt was an Air Force veteran who served our country for 12 years and won awards for her service in Iraq. This I did not know. Thank you for the intelligence and wokeness. Ashli Babbitt was 5'2", 115 pounds. Smaller, certainly, person. She was unarmed. Lieutenant Michael Byrd shot her in the face for her crime of trespassing, despite the fact that armed cops were right beside her. He faced 0 consequences for killing her. It's like this guy just wanted to straight up murder someone. This guy just wanted to go and kill someone. Look at this. Look at this image of him running around with his firearm drawn and his finger on the trigger. Anybody who knows anything about how to handle a firearm will tell you that this man is just straight up looking to kill someone. Babbitt is a victim of an extrajudicial execution. This is lawyer Viva Fry. The question I'm asking myself is, did anybody give Byrd the order to kill a protester? They so desperately needed a death that day to pin on Trump, even if they had to perpetrate it themselves. What a dark and insidious question. Lieutenant Byrd, who was not in uniform, did not identify himself as a police officer or otherwise make his presence known to Ashli. Lieutenant Byrd did not give Ashli any warnings or commands before shooting her dead. This presumably from the wrongful death lawsuit filed by Ashli Babbitt's family, and I hope that they get $30 billion, not $30 million. $30 trillion is the national debt, so I don't think you're going to get that. But that's what you should sue for, though. And what's the value of a human life? What happened to Ashli Babbitt was, of course, completely sick and wrong. Tucker Carlson, who's been the best on these issues and probably lost his job at Fox due to his questioning of the January 6th narrative, was one of the only people that I saw, the person with the largest platform that I saw, to give respect to Ashli Babbitt's family and to give some semblance of fighting for them from some higher echelon in society. Obviously, we on the internet and people without corporate news shows like fight for Ashli, but Tucker Carlson doing this from his position as the most watched man in the world, truly honorable. Check it out.
In the crowd on January 6th was found to be carrying a firearm. Not one. And only one person that day was killed with a firearm. It was an unarmed woman, an Air Force veteran called Ashli Babbitt, a little over 5 feet tall, no weapon whatsoever, no threat whatsoever, and she was shot in the neck. Now, the man who shot her was a Capitol Hill police officer called Mike Byrd, the same Mike Byrd who had left a loaded Glock in the men's room at the Capitol but somehow wasn't fired. Leaving a loaded weapon in a men's room, if you're a cop, that's a deal killer. But this guy kept his job. How? He later admitted, Mike Byrd did, that he knew that Ashli Babbitt likely didn't have a weapon, that she wasn't really a threat. So if you were investigating what happened that day, you'd ask, well, wait, why did he shoot someone he knew did not pose a deadly threat to him? But no one ever investigated that. And during the proceedings last night, and we checked, Ashli Babbitt's name was not mentioned a single time. So what's the message of that? Aaron Babbitt was her husband. He joins us tonight. Aaron, thank you very much for coming on. Once again, we're so sorry about what happened. Your wife did not deserve to be shot to death by Mike Byrd. But the fact that she wasn't even mentioned at a hearing about January 6th, what message do you think that sent?
Honestly, I wasn't surprised, Tucker. I mean, I had no intentions of watching it in the first place, but we can go back, 7, 8 months ago. I mean, a lot of people don't know this, but a sitting member on that panel, Adam Kinzinger, publicly donated to Michael Byrd's GoFundMe. He gave him $200, and then he boasts about it on his own Twitter. And then we can go back to last week where I was listening to Mayor Giuliani's radio show, and when he was getting questioned by them, he straight up asked them, "Are you going to talk about Ashli Babbitt?" And he said everybody just blankly stared at him, looked down, and looked like they were following a fly around the room. So I knew they weren't going to be talking about Ashli at this thing.
But to shoot an unarmed woman is so immoral and so dishonorable for a man to do that. How could you ever encourage that? I mean, what would you be if you would encourage that? Aren't you really saying anyone who disagrees with me should be killed?
Well, I truly believe in my heart that they know it's murder. So I mean, They can't admit to it, so they have to just bypass it and blow by it and just act like it never happened.
Did Kinzinger call you? Did Lindsey Graham, who encouraged the Capitol Police to shoot more Trump voters, has anyone ever called you and said, we disagree, but I'm really sorry that your wife was shot in the neck and killed?
No, I've never received a call from anybody from Congress. I mean, we do have members of Congress that are openly helping us and championing us, but I've not received any phone calls regarding the death of my wife other than January 6th. Darrell Issa called me that night.
So we've got new evidence, or evidence has come out subsequent to January 6th that shows that your wife not only was not posing a threat, but was preventing others from posing a threat. Can you characterize that for us?
I mean, it appears to me that way. You know, everybody was caught up in the emotion and the energy that day, but I know my wife, and I could see the change in her demeanor once she started things getting hectic at those doors. Once she started, you know, what we now know are bad actors, you know, breaking down those doors and breaking down those windows. I specifically hear her, and I urge everybody to listen to it. She's yelling at them to stop. No, don't wait. And I can see the agitation on her. The police move, and it turned chaotic and very confusing for somebody that was not there causing violence.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to have members of Congress, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Lindsey Graham, come on and explain how many other unarmed women should be shot to death because they have the wrong politics. I would be really interested to hear them. In the meantime, we appreciate your coming on tonight. Erin Babbitt, thank you very much.